Okay, greetings patriots, starseeds, lightworkers, and of course our brave military. Welcome to 1776 United, and we're in a worldwide and galactic revolution. I'm Alex West, reporting from somewhere in the central Philippines. Now, I want to clear a lot of things up here. Number one, people have been saying it's easy for me to talk when I'm in the central Philippines so far away from the battlefield. You couldn't be further from the truth, dum-dums, because the Philippines is actually the battlefront. It has been. I'm in the central Philippines. There's a lot of chaotic, satanic overlords that live amongst us here. And I have a brother-in-law, which is the godfather to my son, is a head of the SWAT operations that go on here. So, and he's taken some bullets already and has been awarded. I just did a wake in the front of my house yesterday. We just buried a young man related to the family of my woman. And, so no, I'm deep, neck deep in the battlefield, okay? Being in Canada, Western Canada, is a cakewalk compared to what's going on down here. So I just want to get that cleared up. Now, for everybody, and I'm talking the left, the right, anybody that has been following me since 2015, I have been kicked off of many platforms. Goes back to YouTube days, then over to BitChute days, and then it was into, I believe, back onto YouTube, and then I, wandered over to TikTok when that was. It's like it's a battle. It's a battle trying to get out the truth. But I'm here now. Today, in North America, is August the 30th, 2025. Here, it's the very early morning of the August 31st. 2025. And I don't want to confuse anybody. We are 14 hours ahead of North America. It's just the way it is, right? That's the way the dark elements have laid this whole thing out. Now, I want to say, and I want to dedicate this video to the exact pretenses what has been going on here. And this is for everybody that's in the back row. I want everybody to listen up here. We are in a movie. Everything that you're seeing out there is bullshit. Everything. Even the banks that we deal with have, said that that you owe them. It's all a lie. They owe you. The banks owe you money, okay? Everything has been flipped on its head. Everything is inverted, and it was all by design. The dark elements, and, I call them and I shouldn't say the word because I get kicked off all the time. It's the CLOWNS are the ones that are out there, and I'm just going to call them the clones, right? And the clones are out there, and they are the ones that have inverted everything that appears around you. Now, because I say this is a full-blown movie, doesn't mean that people weren't dying. People are dying in this movie. The 2020 Kool-Aid was very, very real. But you have to understand, it could have been so much worse. It could have been a lockdown for 10 years. It would have just destroyed humanity for what it was worth, because there would have been so many weak people trying to follow the guidelines of their law that would have perished, because they would have been led right into the slaughterhouse. Trump saved all that. Trump did what he could do with the alliance that's out there. And the establishment, understanding the establishment out there, had 6,000 years to enslave humanity on this planet. And it's only been since 1963, the death of John F. Kennedy, or the John F. Kennedy clone, right, that has put the God's bloodline or Jesus bloodlines on the offense against the dark bloodlines, which is the, Moloch's bloodline. We have been fighting this battle back and forth. But in behind the scenes, we have to understand this paradox or this matrix is in a multiverse. And it depends what frequency you're in is what you are resonating with. You get me so far? Does that make sense? Okay, so this is where we're at. There's many people on the old frequency, not like 90%, still in the I call it the Stockholm frequency, because they're okay with their slave masters. They're okay with that. They're okay paying their taxes. They're okay paying their high gasoline, grocery, and all this other stuff. They bitch and whine, but they still pay it, right? They still pay their taxes because they're scared of being what? The knock on the door. They just want to live in peace. Well, they're never going to get peace. Freedom, we have to fight for every day. Now, let me just say one thing, and I'm just going to be very, very frank and give you the reality of everything. Evil will never get rid of evil, okay? There will always be some level, some form, no matter how small. But we have to learn to, number one, recognize it. Number two, be able to live with it, okay? And because without God, there'd be no evil. Without no evil, there'd be no God. We have to, as a species, an intelligent species, although, in the last 10, 15, 20 years, that, I have determined that everybody's not created equal, okay? They're not. They're just not. Especially in the intelligence end of it. There's many people out there that have a serious mental illness, only being eclipsed by their soulless avatars because they just don't exist. We've had so much evil technology wrapped and sewn into our society that we don't know really good from bad anymore. That's how bad it is. And if you add, drugs and synthetic drugs and stuff like that, that I see on the streets every day. Not in Asia. That's one thing we do not. There's the drugs are here, but they're not as widely used or on the street the way it is in North America. That's a sad situation, and I absolutely agree with Trump having to clean up these filthy blue cities that are infested and cancering the United States Republic, along with the 51st state of Canada. And all those cities have to be cleaned up. They are so demonic. Now, we have, at so many levels, have to get this cleaned up. And what Trump is doing is the righteous way of cleaning this up. And he can't do it alone. He needs the patriotic, light workers, freedom fighters, everybody, the digital warriors out there to say that what they need to say, because we are the tip of the spear, okay? The military arm is in there cleaning up the streets as what they should be doing, because that was what their oath has been done. Now, like I said, the police forces are also corrupt. It doesn't matter what country you're in, they're all corrupt, and they all have to be taken out as well. So I believe, and I want to say, and I want to get back to this movie that we're having to deal with here. This movie's been going on for a long, long time, and there has been so many. And let me just add that the amount of comms or breadcrumbs or obvious, plots in this movie that have been dropped and thrown in everybody's face to try to wake them up has been in the thousands. And the movie's getting so stupid because they want the white hats or, the bloodline, the good bloodlines want to, or Earth Alliance, want to try to wake up as many people as possible. And they're going to continue to do this. They're going to not stop until more people have been woken up. I know that's a really, really tough reality I've had to come to terms with. And, I was trying to keep things positive for everybody out there. And things are positive. Things are happening, but it's not going as fast as we want it to. And, the Alliance is going to continue doing these stupid comms to try to wake up the masses that are so dead. Their intuition is gone. Their free thinking is gone. They can't think for themselves. They need to get on the phone or go to their mainstream media to find out, to get filled up with the lies from the mainstream media, so they have a narrative to argue with you, because they cannot think for themselves. And this is what the Alliance is trying to break out. Now, why don't they just come out and just, bring it all out? Well, that's a good question. And, I go with the Band-Aid, ripping off the Band-Aid protocol, to try to wake up humanity. But, they have a different way of doing this. Humanity, as a rule, we have, 8 billion people, they say, on the planet. Maybe 5 billion are actually, have some, intuition to a point, that, they have a human bloodline in them. But there's 3 billion out there that have been cloned out, and they're NPCs, and this percentage might even be more. Who knows? But that by what the Alliance is doing right now is focusing in on this, dropping these breadcrumbs out there to try to wake up as many people as possible. And humanity is finally waking up. Let's, put a feather where feathers, where it's due. And I believe that humanity is waking up to a point, and it'll get, stronger and stronger by the day. We know that we have evil in this world. I think everybody understands that. I think everybody understands the fact is that we have other galactic species around us, and it's a war going on right now. Now, I think we have control of it, and the reason why I say that is because of this movie. For me, personally, this movie was, for the last 2 years have been so stupid, that's why I've been on my platform here trying to explain that there's a lot of this is just phony shit. Yes, people have died in this. There has been collateral damage, but it would have been a lot worse. This young man that we buried, yesterday, was a product of the Kool-Aid shot, another one. And, as much as I tried to tell the big, huge family that's within, my woman's side, not to take the Kool-Aid shot back at 2019, there were still some that didn't listen, and that's the results. And the crazy thing is, you know, they still can't, a lot of people out here cannot connect the Kool-Aid to the death. They think it's something else. Anyways, the ship must sail. So we'll see you on the next one. Bye now.